Welcome back. The Trump administration moving to shore up domestic rare earth supplies. The government planning to inject $1.6 billion into USA Rare Earth through a debt and equity package, while the Commerce Department is set to take a 10% stake in the Oklahoma-based company. The stock up 3.5% this morning. Joining me now is the CEO of USA Rare Earth, Barbara Humpton, back with us. Barbara, congratulations on this deal.
Thank you, Maria. It's been a great week.
Yeah, it's been a great week because you're getting all this injection from government. But I want to get your take on what this means for government as a shareholder in USA Rare Earth. Is the government going to be an active shareholder? Are they going to tell you what to do? Don't pay dividends? I mean, what do you want to say to shareholders about this?
Our letter of intent with the CHIPS program office makes clear they're taking an economic interest in the company. And the capital that we will now have access to gives us the ability to accelerate and expand what we already had planned for the company. What this means is that as we grow, the American people will benefit.
So you're talking about already you have access to some of the richest areas in terms of minerals. Tell me about that. Is particularly this space in Texas?
This is a really important point. USA Rare Earth now has built an entire value chain, from the mine all the way through to metal making and magnets. This mine that we'll be developing at Round Top in Sierra Blanca, Texas, is the richest known deposit of heavy rare earths in North America. Why do heavies matter? These are the critical minerals that make our permanent magnets that move motors, et cetera, more powerful and performing at high temperatures. These are minerals that are needed in semiconductor production. There are oxides needed for jet engine production. These are the high-value critical minerals that complement the light rare earths, which are lower-valued critical minerals in the supply chain. And this is the key to moving us forward.
Will this enable the United States to have less reliance on our number one adversary, Communist China?
Absolutely, and this is the whole story. For 30 years, China has worked hard to gain control over the supply chain, and today in the heavy rare earths, they control more than 90%, sometimes up to 97% of the entire supply. Today, it's impossible to get supplies of critical things like yttrium, like terbium and dysprosium, the critical rare earths that are so important to these technical fields in our economy.
And what are those specific minerals used for?
These are the ones that go into permanent magnets, but they're also used in semiconductor production. Not only in the chips themselves, but in the equipment that makes the chips.
Now, President Trump obviously has been working overtime to limit China's stronghold on critical minerals, including the acquisition of Greenland. To gain access to key resources, I asked the president about Greenland this week in Davos. Here's what he said. Watch. You have talked about this framework, the beginning of a framework that you've spoken with the NATO secretary about. Can you tell us anything about that? Does this ultimately mean that the U.S. will ultimately acquire Greenland?
Well, I don't know if I can say that, but it could be. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. But in the meantime, we're getting everything we wanted, total security, total access to everything, have as many bases, have all the equipment that we want. And very importantly, you know, we're building the Golden Dome, we call it, and it works much better when we have access to Greenland. Just covers more territory, covers it more accurately. Missiles will be more accurate by having it. It's very important strategically as a piece, and we will have everything we want. We're getting everything we want at no cost.
So there's also minerals there in Greenland. I mean, look, China leads so far in the world in rare earth reserves, 44 million metric tons compared to America's near 2 million and Greenland's 1.5 million. Your efforts, how long will this take, Barbara? When do you expect that you could actually excavate in a timely manner to get those products into the supply chain?
Yeah, when Secretary Lutnick talked to me back in November, he asked, how fast can we move?
Right.
We've actually now developed an accelerated mine plan that will get us to production by 2028. There are other mines available around the world that are producing materials, and I'm proud to say that our experts in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, now have the ability to process ore from other mines and extract rare earths as well. So we'll bring that capability online in 2027.
Well, okay.
We're moving fast.
Yeah, you sure are. Now, the government's ownership in your company will represent what? Between 8 and 16% of the fully diluted stock?
Depending on whether or not they exercise warrants, ultimately,
okay.
yes.
All right. And do you have a preference? I mean, do you want 16% of the company owned by government?
Hey, look, I view this as the American people having a stake in USA Rare Earth. Maria, you may have seen the news that in addition to this injection of capital that is planned from the CHIPS program, one of the requirements from the program was to actually raise private capital as well. I mean, here's the plan. The American people will not be the sole owners, and they won't take the risk for this. The private sector steps up, and in fact, we went out to raise a PIPE. We went out with the goal of raising $500 million. It was incredibly oversubscribed, and our board agreed that we would actually take investment in the magnitude of $1.5 billion. You put that together with what will come from the CHIPS program office, we now have the capital we need to carry us through the next 2 years.
Wow. So the PIPE transaction is closed, or is it expected to close this week?
We just announced yesterday it's closed.
Okay, so it's closed. All right, I want to read one comment from one of the analysts that talking about all this, and he's concerned that the USAR arrangement does lack the price floors, profitability guarantees, and the offtake agreements that were inherent in another deal that the government did, which was with MP, Mountain Pass.
That's right. Yeah, the MP deal, we applaud them for making the progress that they have, but we did not request, nor do we need, price floors or offtake agreements. In fact, the economics of the pieces of the supply chain that we're pulling together command high prices. And where we are right now, in essence, the cool thing about this is that we have not made any long-term commitments that would encumber our ability to gain additional upside. There's no cap on our upside potential.
Wow, that is incredible, Barbara. So the Commerce Department financing is going to be distributed or dispersed based on your specified business milestones, right?
That's right.
Tell me about those milestones and specifically about this round top deposit.
Yeah, well, Maria, this is the cool thing. When I last talked to you on Veterans Day, we were just getting to work with the Department of Commerce, doing due diligence on our overall plan. And I'll tell you, President Trump's team has some of the most gifted financial investment bankers, the most gifted material scientists, industrial experts. And so what we've done is we've had the chance to pressure test the plan that we have in place. So what we've built is a plan that has significant milestones at every step along the way. Investors who join us now will have the chance to monitor our progress against this plan, and with the confidence that not only Round Top coming online by 2028, the ability to expand metal making using the oxides that will come from that mine and others around the world, but indeed the ability to produce magnets. And I'm happy to report that we are commissioning the magnet line. Our very first production line is coming up in Stillwater. We're in commissioning now, pressing blocks, getting ready.
That is incredible. Barbara, congratulations. This is such a great story. I love this story. We're going to be watching your work and of course, all of those milestones. Congrats. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Good to see you. Barbara Humpton. Stay with us. We'll be right back.